Is it just me, but is trading an absolute psychological mind war on the brain? I can tell you right now, right? I've been trading 10 years and it does not get any easier. I promise you. I still have the same battles like it was my first day on the charts, right? And I think the quicker you accept that and accept that we are humans and we're going to go through these emotions when we're trading, the easier it is to deal with them, right? Because we can't eliminate them. We're humans. We're going to go through these experiences. You know, some days I wake up miserable and I have an absolutely amazing day on the charts and I'm super happy. It's fascinating, isn't it? Right? Or, you know, I wake up super happy and excited to trade and nothing goes to plan and your complete day's ruined, all because of trading. And I go through the exact same emotions where most people will perhaps trade with emotion. I don't necessarily trade with emotion, but these emotions that I have inside of me have got to come out in some form or another, right? If I have a bad day on the charts, right, I'm going to be miserable, okay? I won't necessarily chase trades or anything like that, but I just won't be happy, right? It's the same when I make lots of money. I, won't get greedy, but I'm still going to have some form of emotion or another, and it is wrong to think that, right? We're all human. In fact, let me show you, right, a psychological battle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you my trading results because, the last two weeks ago, I had a bad week on the charts, right? I made money, but just everything wasn't doing what I wanted it to do, right? And it was frustrating, right? I hated it. And then at the weekend, everything went perfect. So let me show you, right? And you'll understand the battle. So I'll edit this in. So I'm going to screen share here. So these are my results, okay? So as you can see here, if we go to last week there, you can see those are my results last week, 26 grand. If you look at today, okay, 18 grand. But what I wanted to show you custom, so I want to show you weekend's results. So 19th, so end date is going to be the 19th, okay, let's do the 19th, yes, and then we're going to do from Saturday. So there we go there. So look at all these results, okay? No, get rid of that one there because I've done the date wrong. So it's going to be the 18th. There we go there. So the 17th to the 18th. You ready? All these is 100%, okay, apart from that one trade there. I made 3 grand. Right, now if you look at today's results, okay, I actually feel more happier from Bitcoin's weekend than I do today because everything at the weekend was perfect. It did exactly what I wanted it to do. I'm not looking at the money, I'm looking at the actual setups. It's the setups that make a psychological effect on you, right? When I get a loss, see, this is a little battle, right? When I get a loss, people are like, oh, frustration, I got a loss. It's not me. It's the market hates me. For me, this is what I do when I get a loss. You little bugger, I'm going to get you back, right? I'm going to get you back. You wait, the next trade, I'm going to get you back. Here we go. I'm determined and focused. And I think the more that you accept that every decision on the charts is you, right? From the losses to the wins, the setups you take for, not closing early, for chasing trades, the quicker you accept and truly accept that everything is your decision on the charts, the more that you accept everything you do, right? The emotions, the wins, the losses, awarding yourself for taking a winning setup. I've seen loads of people take a winning setup. They don't take any money out of the trade and they don't do anything about it. And I think it's very important that I'm going to show you some tips in a minute, right? Which is going to make a big difference to you because like I said, right, I'm opening up. I have my battles on the charts as well. Not more in the head, but you've seen me when I first started trading the Mogwai reversal strategy, right? 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. You've seen the very first videos when I started to learn it. I started to kind of work out the second pullback, the structure, the alerts, the arrows, everything, right? Then it happened where I took £400 to $1 million. I didn't actually consciously I didn't set out a plan to do it. I was going on holiday with my friend and I decided to trade his trading account to, use the money to go to Dubai. But then my mate pulled out of Dubai. So I ended up carrying on trading the trading account. And with a bit of motivation, with a bit of confidence, I took it to just over $1 million. I filmed it all with my members. The £1 million trade was actually called by my own member. Not even joking you, right? And I've done it all, right? I've mastered it, I've done it, and I've proved to myself that it's possible. But the last 6 months since I've done that, I'm feeling like I don't know where else to go with my trading. It's like I've spent so long learning something. I've learned it, I've achieved it, I've proved it to myself, and it's like, yeah, what's next, right? And it's a psychological battle, right? If you look at me, I'm trading every single day. Today I traded at 4 a.m. in the morning, right? I'll show you the setups I took. 4 a.m. in the morning. Every single day. If you go to the free group, it's discipline. 6 o'clock every single morning. Hey guys, let's make today count. Let's jump on the chart. From Monday to Sunday, every single day. Why do I do that? Because the more that you accept that everything is you, the more you improve as a person and as a trader, right? And that will make a huge difference, because you will look at that loss and you'll be like, okay, could I have done something about that loss? What can I do to improve it, right? And the quicker you accept that, the quicker you become a better trader. So let me just load up my charts right here. Okay, and I want to go over a perfect setup. In fact, let's take a perfect trade, right? Let me see if I can find you a perfect trade. And this is all I do. But I want to give you some tips now that I think will help you more on the psychology side of learning this. Because first of all, the only way you're going to go from here to here is to push yourself as a trader. You really need to step outside of your comfort zone and go through the difficulties to improve as a trader, right? That is 100% fact. So I would always say to people, you need to start increasing your lot size. You need to start to feel uncomfortable with your trading. You need to start pushing yourself, and then that starts to become the normal, right? And then the more you push yourself, you start to settle for nothing less than perfection, right? Why do you think I always chase 100%? I know I'm not going to get 100%, but it is a level and it is a bar so high that I set myself mentally. I have to hit that every single day. Like I said, right? I made 3 grand in 2 days, but yet today I made 18 grand. And the money that I made in the 2 days, I feel more happy about because the setups were perfect. They worked, right? Again, psychology, right? It's the way I view the markets. So let me go over a setup for you, right? I'll go over a perfect setup, and then I'm going to go over, we'll try and find you a live trade, right? Let me go over, if I can just go to the Telegram group, right? Let me go to the Telegram group and I'll show you the trades that I took. I can't remember because I took trades like 4 in the morning. I'll just show you, by the way, you can see I haven't loaded, this is the first time I loaded my Telegram up. Look at some of these trades, right? And like I said, this is not rehearsed. You just see me load up the Telegram. Beautiful. Look at that. Second pullback. Nice. Second pullback. Nice. You see? Right? You see? Nice. Second pullback. Jane missed this one, but this is kind of a perfect setup. We should be looking for. Yes, that is a perfect trade. Perfect trade. And that is it. 99% close. Done. I'm not even joking. Let me tell you a quick story, right? I had a webinar with a member last night. I'm not even joking you. This guy was a phenomenal trader. He was about as good as me. In fact, he probably was better than me at trading. This guy was unbelievable. He's actually a full-time trader, right? He's been living off his trading profits for a year. So technically he's a full-time trader. But he says, I go up and down all the time, right? You know, I make loads of money, I lose a bit, I make loads of money, I lose a bit more. And it's like, I want to find consistently. I watched him trade. We went over the setups he took. Honestly, man, this guy was perfect. But you know what his weakness was? He's all over the place. He's trying to trade 10, 15 different strategies all at once. He's constantly being distracted. He's never happy. He's never settling. He always changes. He always tries something new. And that's what I'm saying. It's mindset, right? I don't want to go down the route of like mental health sort of thing, right? But you know when everything around you is perfect, everything's just perfect, but yet you're still not happy. You're still not happy. That's like most of you lot, right? You have everything around you, all of the perfect strategies. You have all of the training available. You have all of these options for you to learn to trade, and you just don't settle on one thing. You just constantly want that next thing. And when you realize that the answer is not over there or this or that, the answer's in here, the more you accept that actually it's me that's the problem here, then you learn. Right, anyway, let me go over this setup, right, because I'm waffling on, okay? This was a trade on Aussie US dollar. Where was that trade at like 4 in the morning? Look at this, right? And I'm not even joking, yeah? Look at this. At this trade at 4 a.m. in the morning. Ready? This is it here. Here we go here, 21. Here we go here, 4:32. Good morning. I couldn't sleep. This was the trade here. So this was a beautiful trade. Nice trade here. Let's go over this trade here. What trade was that? USD JPY, 15 seconds. Okay. So this, oh my God, look at that. Oh my God, look at that trade. That is perfect. Beautiful, right? So this is what I would consider a perfect trade, right? Let me just get rid of some of these alerts. It's going to drive me nuts. I've turned all the alerts on at the minute because I'm testing something. Right, let me try here, right? 3, 2, 1, there we go here, right? So this is what I would consider a perfect trade, okay? And yeah, like I said, you've seen me all the time. It is the exact same trades. There's nothing about my trading that is anything different from the next, okay? All the setups are the same. They don't look any different. And the more you accept that this is me, this is my trading, okay, the more you kind of, you know, don't accept. So as you can see here, this is my first pullback. Why is it the first pullback? Because it's pullback to structure. As you can see there, right? Beautiful. You see that? Uptrend pullback. That is a lower low. You can just visually see from here that it is the first pullback here. You could argue technically that that is the first pullback. You could technically argue that, right? And you could argue that this is the second pullback. However, I wouldn't really count that as a pullback because it's not really pulled back. It's just gone sideways. You know, a pullback is what it says, a pullback. Okay, so I'd probably just ignore that one. I would count that as the first pullback. So once we've created that first pullback here, right, then we create that second, when it creates that lower low. Come on, create that lower low. Okay. Are you going to create that lower low sometime? And by the way, that is the previous low just there. That is the lowest point at the market. So obviously I'm waiting for a break and retouch of that. That would be my second confirmation once it lines up with the Mogwai reversal strategy. So here we go here. This is my Mogwai reversal setup. Oh my God, there you go there. Walla it's gifted. Now what I like about this, and I've noticed this, I said it with my members, is this is a perfect trade, right? If I turn it off, as you can see, right, we have our first pullback, have our second pullback. It's messy, but it's there, okay? I can see it. It's the same as every other setup. What I've noticed is when you have the higher time frame in your favor, it gives you a better, you can go for a bigger take profit because you got the 5 minutes in your favor now, right? Now, regardless if this was there or not, I'd still take the trade, but these are like perfect, right? So same again when I take my trade. Now, what I would suggest to you, and I suggest this for everybody, if you want to help psychology-wise, okay? In trading, you never know when a trade is going to, or you never know when a trade's going to do what it's going to do, right? Sometimes it could just melt, it could reverse. Trading has no rules. It'll do what it wants to do, right? It's a battle, mindset battle, right? If it wants to screw you over, it will. What I would say, and this is going to help a lot, is when you set yourself a target in trading, right? Set yourself a target in trading. So a level that you're happy to take partials at. So I'm going to give you an example right there. I'm going to set this at 7 pips, right? So I'm going to go with 7 pip stop loss. I'll just go over there, 8 pips. So it's just over 1-to-1. What I would suggest for you to do, there's no point going for like a 1-to-3, 1-to-4 because you won't hold the trade. You're not psychology ready there. You're not mentally prepared to do that yet. What I would say is increase your lot size. So go into this trade with a bigger lot size and take partials or take profit out of this trade at a level that you are comfortable at and happy at. So set yourself a level and say, right, this is the target that I'm aiming for. If I hit that target, the profit that I take out of this trade, I'm happy, right? So you're better off going into this trade with a bigger lot size and taking profit out of the trade that you are happy with at the partials. Once you've done that, then you can move your stop loss down, become risk-free, and then go target a 1-to-2 or whatever. The reason why you should do that is because you remember what I said, the guy was chasing strategies all the time. He was changing strategies. Even though everything's perfect, you're constantly changing because you feel like there's something missing. And you have to do certain things in trading that helps the mindset. That is fact, right? We're humans. We're going to have to, you can't eliminate emotions. You can only control them. So by taking enough profit out of the trade where you are happy with, then you are more likely to push the trade after that. Okay, there's no point going into this trade over leveraged because you're going to panic, right? And there's no point going into this trade with a smaller lot size because you want to go for a bigger take profit to get that profit that you're happy with. So maybe rewire the psychology to say, right, I'm going to go in with a bigger lot size than I normally would. And then I'm going to set a target. Once I hit that target, that's my partial zone where I'm happy to take the money out. I'm happy, I'm comfortable, pat yourself on the head, you've took a winning trade. Then you can push yourself. And then you start to build up the psychology, right? As you can see, I got stopped out on this trade, but I didn't actually get stopped out because for me, I had my stop loss. I had my stop loss above the previous high. And then I had the bottom of the zone just there. But what I'm trying to say, and just to show you, right? Just to show you, there's the trade. You see here? That was the trade that I took. I did actually take profit on that. But that takes time, right? And you need to understand that. You do certain things in trading to help and control psychology. You won't be able to eliminate it. That's what you have to do. So let me see if I can take for you a live trade right now, okay? I want to find one super quick on the 5 second, and I will show you that psychological battle, right? And you'll understand what I mean, right? So I'm going to try and find your trade super fast. Watch how fast I find the trade. Right, okay, I'm not taking that trade, not taking that trade. Bitcoin was a nice trade. Watch this one, right? I can't tell that trade is cheating. In fact, I'm going to take this trade on Bitcoin. Watch this. Watch me take this trade on Bitcoin, and you're going to sit there and say, this is a messy trade. I don't see your logic on this one. Why is my MT4 freezing again? You ready? So I took this trade on Bitcoin. Okay. Go on, sell. My phone is being super... I don't know whether it's MT5 just blocking me out today or what. Okay, so I've took a trade. I've took 2 trades, as you can see right there, on Bitcoin. Okay. It's actually took 3 trades. I'm in 3 trades now. I've literally took 3 trades. It's freezing, right? So let me explain to you why I took this trade. And again, they're all the same. It looks messy, but look at this logic. Okay, I'm going to do it from the top. Okay, I'm going to watch the trade. Okay, this is 5 seconds. Ready? So price comes down. I'm going to watch the trade. I'm going to put this phone like this here so I can visually see it. Okay. So at the minute, we're going down, right? We're going down, okay? Now, is this the pullback in the market? Yes, this is a potential pullback. No, okay, it's not a pullback, so we're going to ignore that trade. Okay, so price is going to come down like this here, right? And then now we have our potential first pullback in the market. Okay, now this pullback I'm counting because it's below the structure. This one isn't technically part of a downtrend because that's an equal high. Okay, you can't have an equal high in a downtrend. Okay, so that is irrelevant. This is technically the start of this downtrend. Well, it is the start of the downtrend when we create that lower low. So here's that lower low here, right? So I take this trade just there, I mark up that area of structure here, and this is where I got that alert. Just hold on it. We haven't actually come up here. We're going to go lower again. So the level is still here. Like I said, it's a little bit messy, this one here. Okay, but you see here, let me come down here. I'm going to just mark lower here, right? This is the key here. I'm just watching my phone. It's dropping down in profit. Here we go here, right? So it's a little bit messy, but you see how it's now, we've got our alert here. Hold on, let me show you the setup afterwards now, right? Because I need to physically watch this trade, right? There we go there. So this is how I would play this trade here. Imagine now we took my trade, I put my stop loss up there, and I'm going to go target a 1 to 3. Now remember, I've gone into this trade with a higher leverage than I normally would. Well, I've took 3 trades that I normally wouldn't do, okay? And as you can see here, it is a little bit messy, but this is because on the 5 seconds, right? you have to allow, I'm going to get too complicated and I don't want to confuse you, but when you're trading the super low seconds, you have to allow yourself breathing space, okay? Because if you don't, you know, price isn't going to do what you want to do. It's moving so fast, right? But you can visually see, right? That's my first pullback. That's my second pullback there. Okay. Now, as price starts to go down into profit here, I'm going to start to take partials out of the trade that I'm comfortable with. Now, I fully respect, and I know I probably get moaned at in the comment section, this isn't the perfect setup, but I'm rushing this setup to show you what to do. Okay, now I'm pretty confident this trade's going to win because visually looking at it, it is messy because we've got the highs above the EMA, which would be invalid. But notice how I haven't marked the highs. Okay, I'm targeting that blue zone just there. That blue zone is where I'd be entering that trade. Okay, just there. Okay, so I would have already technically took partials there, but we're going to re-enter it because I'm pretty confident we can get more out of this trade. Okay, what I'm going to do is, okay, we're already up 70 quid in profit, as you can see. Look, right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to come back very, very shortly. Okay, so as you can see here, we've now started to go down in profit. I am up, and by the way, I'm just going to take, why is my MT5 frozen? This is a big problem, mate. My MT5 is frozen. I don't know if the broker's got something against me. Don't reverse there. Don't reverse there. This is where I'm taking part. I'm not even joking. Look, I'm not even joking you. My MT5 is frozen. I'm literally not even, there you go. Okay, so I'm up now, 240 quid. Okay, so I'm going to take partials here, right? Because this is a level that I'm happy to, please wait, order has been sent to server. I'm not even joking. Look, it's still saying. It's still saying. It hasn't, oh, now it's done something, okay? And price goes up. Okay, so I'm taking technically 50% to target. I'm going to have to close this trade off. I'm closing all of that off. My MT5's messing up. Mate, it's, look, it literally, I'm not even joking you. I'm not even joking you. I can't trade. I can't trade. I close them Bitcoin buys off, the sales off there. I had that this morning at 4 o'clock in the morning. My MT5 froze again. But anyway, back to this setup here. Can you see that this is that level on which I take partials at? You have to have that comfort zone. You have to have that target and say, right, I'm happy at this. I'm happy. If I can get more out of the trade, I will. I'll move me stop loss down, okay, and I'll go risk-free with the trade. And that is it, right? Now, arguably, this isn't the best setup, but I mean, you know, you got to be idiot to say that this isn't going down, right? And trading's very simple as in that, right? That is clearly going down. It's very messy on the 5 seconds. I will agree with you. I try not to avoid a trade the 5 seconds, but you get the idea, okay? And you see here, price is coming down again and again and again. And it should eventually come down to the bottom of the zone and jobs are good in, right? Like I said, I'd normally just take partials and leave it, but I can't because my MT5 is frozen. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. That was a quick mini session. Thank you for watching. What I'll do is I'll post the setup after this while I edited it. So thank you for watching. My name is Jamie Palmer, and see you in another video.